Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. Today it is Wednesday, the 29th of October, 2025. Liverpool have just lost their 6th game in 7 games. 3-0 this time to Crystal Palace. These are the player ratings, so welcome if you're here on YouTube. I'm Tom, thank you for joining me today. Please do drop a like on the video at this horrendous time for Liverpool fans. Comment away, obviously, as I said on videos before. Vent out your frustrations, chat with each other, chat with me on what you think should be going on at Liverpool at the minute, what you think of these players, what you think of the game, what you think of the manager, anything along those lines, comment away. And of course, subscribe to the channel, guys. We're getting closer to 200 every video. We get closer, so if we can do that again in this one, we're trying to get to 200 subscribers and we're trying to get to 20 likes. They're the goals at the minute. We've been hitting the likes. Let's get the subscribers there as well. So thank you very much for that, podcast listeners. 5-star rating and reviews. And now that that's out the way, unfortunately, guys, we've got to talk about that performance from Liverpool. Now, in the last couple losses, especially Brentford, especially United, I've really ranted and been angry, to be honest, and maybe been a bit passionate about the defeat and how bad we were. Tonight, I honestly feel defeated. The word I used, I feel exasperated at the minute. I feel like, well, I knew we were going to lose, so I'm not surprised. There's no element of surprise. As soon as the team came out, I knew we were going to lose. But even before that, I thought we were going to lose this game. Even if we played a full-strength team, I thought we would lose this game. I've seen nothing to indicate why we wouldn't recently. And as soon as the team comes out, it was confirmed. So this video is probably not going to be rant and rave about everybody. We're going to talk about how shit our team is and how bad our players are. But honestly, tonight, you can't blame the players all that much because some of them, let's face it, are 10 years old. You know, Dunfermline's under 9, School for the Blind, couldn't put out a worse team than what we put out today. I'm being serious. Because that was just a disgrace from us tonight. That's what it was. It was a disgrace. It's a disgrace from the manager. Let's talk about this before we rate the players tonight, because we really need to talk about the manager. Because I'm not going to make another video on this game. There'll be no tactics video. There wasn't going to be one anyway, but there certainly won't be one now. Because what needs to be talked about is that our manager tanked that game on purpose. He threw the game on purpose. He picked that team tonight purely based on fitness. He prioritised fitness of our first team players more than winning that game. That's why he picked the team he did. So he knew picking that team we would lose tonight, because if he didn't and he thought we had any chance of winning with that team against Palace's team, then he's delusional. So which one is it? Either he's delusional and doesn't have a clue, or he tanked the game. So he tanked the game tonight by picking that team. That is not acceptable as a Liverpool manager. I remember when we played Real Madrid in some dark days for Rodgers. We played Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in the Champions League, and we were in really bad form, and we had a crucial Premier League game coming up, and Rodgers put Gerrard on the bench and didn't play a load of our better players at the time. I remember that game, and he got absolutely destroyed for it, and Slot should get the same tonight. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to play. No, all of our first team was there, sat behind the bench. Just put them on the bench at least. What kind of message does it send out to the players, to the fans? Because I knew we were going to lose. All the fans knew we were going to lose. The fans were amazing tonight. Unbelievable, by the way. The crowd tried their absolute best. They sang and they sang and they willed and they willed. And what reward did they get? 3-0 defeat with no positive moments. 0 for Liverpool. The ground was empty at the end. Empty. That doesn't happen at Anfield. The ground is never empty. Win, lose or draw. It's never empty at the end. But I don't blame those fans one bit for leaving today. I don't blame them one bit. It was pissing it down with rain the whole game. They've paid good money to go and watch that performance tonight. The manager picks a team that's, let's face it, inept to play in any competition for Liverpool. And then we just proceeded to get absolutely destroyed by Palace. again. Ismail Assar, my number one enemy, scores twice. If he'd have been on the pitch longer, he'd have scored a hat-trick, and that would have been the end for me with football. That would have been the end. I can't handle it anymore. But like I said, I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to rant and rave. If someone asked me if Slot should get sacked now, I'd say no. And you might lose your minds at that. And there are people, many, many people out there tonight who will think he should be sacked. And if I was rating him tonight, I'd give him a 0, by the way. If I was a person saying he should be, if I saw someone saying he should be getting sacked tonight, I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't say you're wrong for saying that, because you've got more than a valid case. I actually asked ChatGPT at half-time when was the last time we lost 6 games out of 7 in history of Liverpool, and ChatGPT told me that he couldn't find an instance. So that's a first, by all accounts, tonight. The first time that ever happened in our history. Let that sink in. The reason why I don't think we should sack him is because, for me, he still has a little bit of credit in the bank from last year, and that team was never going to win. That's on him for picking it, but that team was never going to win, so it's not a surprise to me that we lost. Now, our next 3 games are Villa, Real Madrid and Man City, so I expect 3 defeats in those games, unless there's a miracle. Then at that point, we'll have lost, what will that be, 9 of our last 10? Now, then we've got serious issues at that point. But for those of you who want Slot out tonight, I sympathise with you. I completely agree. Now, we've talked for a little while. I do need to rate these players tonight. It's going to be really difficult because this bunch of players here completely stitched up by Slot tonight. And listen, they were all crap. They were rubbish. But it's a team of players who've never played together, first of all, ever. And I saw something Slot put in the program today, in the match program. If you went to the ground and bought one, this big spiel about, we're sorry that we're playing so bad and we're going to put it right. First of all, I hate that shit, because if you're going to put that, I don't want to hear that. I don't need to hear that you're trying to work hard and you're sorry and all this stuff. Just play better, and then I'll be happy. Just put some effort in, and then I'll be happy. But to put that in the program, he also said in that spiel in the program that he hadn't decided on the team yet because he was still watching in training. So that's a lie. Is what that is. That's a lie. Is what that is, because he's not watching these in training. He's not watching these players in training, because these players don't. Bar Rio, they don't train for the first team. Loads of these players. He's not even watching them. So he's lying. He didn't pick this team because they were doing good in training. Anyway, he didn't pick Calvin Ramsay because he was the best in training. He picked this team tonight so he could rest our first team players. Don't let anything cloud that. He threw this game, guys. He threw it. We're out the cup now. Gone. 3-0. Embarrassing at home. 3-0. Embarrassing. The dark days, these guys. Really, really dark days. So should we rate some of these players? Let's rate some of them. Woodman in the net. First game ever for Liverpool. For me, he even rests Marmadashvili. This is where we're at. He even rests Marmadashvili. What are you resting him for? He doesn't need a rest. He's a goalkeeper. He doesn't need a rest. He'd have played in this match if Alisson was fit. So just play him. Why are you playing Woodman? None of this is Woodman's fault, by the way. He was not at fault for any of the goals. He couldn't do anything about them. He's stitched up by his crap defence. It's ridiculous. Why can't you play the goalkeeper that we signed? I really don't know. There's not a lot to say about Woodman, to be honest. 5. He didn't make a save, did he, really? Ramsay. Then we wrote Calvin Ram. This for me, when I saw the lineup, was like the real indicator. It was like a litmus test. You couldn't miss it. Of why that we were going to lose this game, because he picked Calvin Ramsay, right? Now, I actually went and looked at Calvin Ramsay's career since he signed for Liverpool, because this guy signed for us in 2022, right? Okay. When we signed him that year, he made 2 appearances, okay? One was in the Cup, one was in the Champions League. I think the Champions League was a sub. Since then, He's been on loan at Preston, where he made 2 appearances. Bolton, where he made 4 appearances. Wigan, where he made 12 appearances. Big season for him there. Kilmarnock, where he made 8. And that's it. And then he comes back to Liverpool and he starts a game. So what's that a total of there? What's that a total of appearances since he signed for us, including our games? That's 28 appearances in 3 years since he signed for us. Now, he's had horrible luck with injuries. I don't blame him for that. I don't blame him. The fact he's playing for us randomly is a joke. Let's call it what it is. It's a joke. And do you know what the worst thing is? He actually wasn't all that bad tonight. He did some stuff where you were like, oh, that was pretty decent, honestly. He shouldn't be anywhere near the team. It's plain and simple. He shouldn't be. You know, he should have played in this match, Connor Bradley. Maybe try and get his confidence up. Maybe. But he, like I said, he wasn't even that bad. He was actually probably better than Bradley's been recently. So I don't blame him. It wasn't his fault. But as soon as I saw him, I knew what we were in for. Because, let's face it, he shouldn't be playing for Liverpool. He shouldn't just randomly be starting games. Maybe he could come off the bench. He's not good enough, probably. I've not seen him play. He's not played for 3 years. So this guy's a permanent employee at the hospital, part-time footballer at this point. 5. Because he wasn't all that bad. He actually wasn't. But then we get to Gomez. Now, he's our most senior player tonight out there. I think he's probably the oldest player, except for, actually, Robbo, his partner. Although, actually, we played 3 at the back tonight, and we'll get to that in a second when we get to Endo. I did the positioning before I knew we were playing 3 at the back, so we'll do Gomez first. We'll just keep on doing it in this order. Gomez has been with Liverpool for 10 years, right? People have been asking recently, me included, maybe to try Gomez, maybe to play him, maybe it'll help. It won't help. Definitely don't play him. Definitely don't play him. The first goal is just a disgrace. It's diabolical defending. The ball comes to him in the box, and he just wafts his foot at it like a caramel wafer. The ball just hits his foot, bounces straight to Sarr. Of course, he scores because when he plays us, he's basically the second coming of Amara Nallo. And he knocks it in the net, and I proceeded to lose my head. Although actually, I actually didn't, because I knew he was going to score, and I knew Liverpool would concede. The only surprising thing was that we managed to not concede in the first 15 minutes for the first time in 6 games. We conceded in the first 15 minutes. Tonight being the 7th, we managed to avoid it. So that was a surprise. He was shocking. Gomez. He was terrible. All over the place. The second goal, he's dragged out of his defence, nowhere near. Palace ripped us apart. The football was way better. They didn't even try. The second half, they didn't even try, and they still beat us 1-0 in the second half. It was embarrassing. We didn't have a touch in their box in the second half for like 30 minutes. Like I said, guys, this is one of the senior players in our team. He has to be doing better. He played in the middle of a back 3. It was a disaster. I'm not going to talk about him anymore. 2. He was absolutely awful. Then we'll go to Robbo, who played left side of a back 3. The worrying part for me with this at the minute is, so Slot tried something different tonight with this back 3. I'll talk about it more with Endo, but I'll talk about it with Robbo as well. This is the worrying part, because now it seems to me like he's now just trying things out of desperation. Like he doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't know if it'll work, is what it feels like. He just tried it, just to see. And look, Robbo wasn't awful. Like, he wasn't shocking, but was he at anywhere near Liverpool level tonight? No. Nowhere close. The way that we defend is an absolute disgrace. And then, do you know what's even the funnier part about all of this? Is that when we're 2-0 down, and we need to, try and make an attacking change, try and maybe get back in the game. It was never going to happen, but, maybe. He takes Robbo off, like one of our senior players in the team, to bring on 2 more youngsters. He threw the game, guys. He threw the game. I can't really forgive that, to be honest with you. It's not really acceptable at all. Well, it isn't acceptable, plain and simple. Let's not mess around. Let's just give Robbo a 4. Kerkez, honestly, genuinely hilarious and also ironic and painfully ironic that of all the players who played against Brentford, he was the only one to keep his place. How bad he's been. He was the only one to keep his place, which is just hilarious. What's also funny is that Kerkez is a year younger than Calvin Ramsay and the same age as Cade Gordon. Let that sink in. We're looking at all these youngsters tonight and we're going, oh, we've got Kerkez playing, he's a first teamer. He's younger than Ramsay, who we've never seen. He's been in the bloody dungeons for 3 years. He's just managed to find the way out of Klopp's dungeon. He's found himself in slots. Slots let him out, apparently. Sent him to the Lion's Den. Sent him into the Colosseum. Well, I wish he'd send Kerkez as well, because this fella, honestly, all he wants to do is fight. He'd probably be better off in the Colosseum. He could fight some tigers. Maybe he'd probably enjoy it more. Give him a sword. You know, he can run around, he can yell, he can scream, he can headbutt people. That's all he seems good at to me at the minute. His throw-ins are probably the worst I've ever seen a Liverpool player. Ever. He takes fucking ages. I mean, let's be real, none of our players ever give him a throw, ever. Ever. But he just takes so long. And then when he does decide to throw it, if you've got no throw on, what do? I'm asking you, the viewer. I don't know what level of football you played at, but I bet you all said you throw it up the line. At least it's safe. If the ball gets headed, it comes back to you. Well, he always throws it to some random place and we always lose the ball. He lost the ball right before the first goal happened. His passing is an absolute, genuine tragedy. He can't ever pass it to a Liverpool player. He just kicks it away every time he has the ball. Every time. He tried in spurts to go forward tonight. We played him left wing back. He actually put a really good cross in the first 5 minutes or so. Landed on Morrison's head. Great cross. That was the only good thing he did. The rest of the game, awful. I'm worried about him, to be honest. I'm worried. If he wasn't a new signing, if this was a player that we'd had for a long time, we'd all be saying he shouldn't be anywhere near the team. We'd probably be saying we should sell him because he's past it. Now, I really, really hope he kicks on and he finds some form that he found at Bournemouth for the last year. But this at the minute is a disgrace. But you know what? He'll start on the weekend. So why do we even bother? He was just as bad as Gomez, if not worse. Endo. So this is where we'll talk about the formation more tonight. He tried to play Endo in a back three. He's completely shook off Oliver Glasner, by the way, who's ran mental rings around Slot, apparently. Every time we play Palace, he's completely shook of it because he tried to match them playing a 5 at the back. Now, that Liverpool don't play 5 at the back. They don't do that. Now, I'd understand if he kept a clean sheet tonight. Maybe we could say, he's trying to help solidify the defence. But we didn't, did we? We conceded 3 goals and we never looked like scoring even one time. Now, was this Endo's fault? Not really. First of all, Endo isn't really a centre-back. So we ended up playing 3 centre-backs tonight. One was a defensive midfielder, one's a centre-back, and one's left-back. None of them are first-team players. First choice, anyway. How did we ever expect to do anything good? He threw the game. I'm repeating that again. He threw the game. The one thing I will say about Endo is he makes a load of tackles, and nobody else in our team makes tackles. Nobody else. So I appreciate that he tries a bit of fight. The first team players need to watch and maybe try and make some tackles as well, because he's the only one who tries to make tackles. He gets destroyed on the goals, especially the second one. He's completely destroyed. They played through us like a hot knife through butter. Yeah, it was as though you'd put all the defenders in a bath and then chucked a hairdryer in. That was how they were defending tonight. Electrocuted in the rain. Struck by lightning. 4. McAllister. If McAllister wasn't on this list, would you know he played? I'm being serious. Would you know he played? This is supposed to be world-class midfielder, Alexis Mac Allister. One of the best midfielders in the league. I mean, when I tell you I'm yet to see it this season, I couldn't mean it more. But tonight, I couldn't even see him on the pitch. Do you know, when you've got this team out, you need your players in the middle, you need your big players to maybe really put a performance in, to lead them, to get on the ball all the time, to be the connecting force. He was nothing, non-existent. Do you know why Slot played him tonight? For fitness. That's why. Nothing to do with performance or because he's a senior player. It was for fitness. That's why. That's why he brought him off at 60 minutes. It was planned sub, or whenever it was, 65. It was a planned sub. It didn't matter what the scoreline was. That's why he brought him off. Supposed to be our best player on the team tonight. Brought him off at 2-0 down. It's a disgrace. I am fuming. I'm just not yelling about it because honestly, I'm not giving up any more energy to this team. In fact, last night I pulled my groin at football myself. I've been walking around all day like I've got a peg leg. Okay, I can barely move. And I swear to God, I could have done better in midfield than Mac Allister tonight. I could have played better in defence than these lot tonight. I could have probably done better up front as well. And I can't move. If you'd have put me with no groin, my grandma with no hips up front tonight, we'd have been better than Liverpool were. I'm serious. He was shocking. 3. I barely saw him. It's not good enough. Same with Nyoni. I don't think he's being played in his right position, first of all. I think this lad's more of a defensive midfielder, like a deep lie-in midfielder. He's not physical enough to play centre mid yet, especially not against a side like Palace. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he has talent. We're not really seeing it in this type of game. But like I said, it's not really his fault. And it's hard to rate these players tonight because asking a bunch of, teenagers and players who don't play for Liverpool usually to go and beat Palace's first team, it's never going to happen. They're never going to play well either. So, yeah, wrong position altogether. He tried to play him in a midfield 2 with Mac Allister. Except if you watch the game, for 85% of it, the middle of the pitch was just completely vacant, no one anywhere near it. We didn't build up any attacks, we couldn't. Palace defend too well. It was the easiest game of their lives tonight, the easiest one. I'm not going to be too harsh, 5. Morrison. I watched Morrison for the youth team against Frankfurt in the Champions League the other week. We won 5-4 in that game, and he basically set up all 5 goals. He was absolutely electric. I've seen him a few times for the youth team. He's got a really sweet left foot. Attacking winger. Plays for us tonight. Looked like he could barely kick a ball. The header, first 5 minutes, horrendous. Goes right up in the air. Why can't none of our players head the ball, ever? The other team get a header, it goes in the net. None of our players ever can head it. Isak, Ekitike, Konate. Except for Frankfurt, apparently. If you're in Germany, headers fly in. Not here. Not anywhere else. But not just that. He looked out of his depth tonight, really. Completely out of his depth. Maybe if he was playing with better players around him who could help him. Maybe if he wasn't so isolated, it would help him. But yeah, not the finest performance at all. Disappointing, to be honest. I was quite excited to watch him. But then I realised that we're absolutely crap and we'll never get the ball anywhere near him with players around. And when we do, he lost it. So, he was rubbish. 3. Chiesa. Now, Chiesa is the only player in this entire team, who shows a bit of heart, who looks like they're arsed, to be honest. Looks like they're arsed at all. And nothing epitomised that more than when he kicked off at one of the Palace players for trying to take Rio out. He's the only one who looks hurt. The only one who, when a goal goes in and the camera goes to him, he looks upset. He looks annoyed. I'm looking at all the other players and they're clapping each other. Come on, guys. Come on, let's keep going. I mean, I know they're not. I know that's what they're supposed to do, and they're not gonna quit. But I don't want. It doesn't look like it actually affects them. Do you know what I mean? The first team players this goes for as well. Chiesa's the only one. The only one who tries. He was so isolated tonight, unbelievably, and he should have scored his chance that he had. which he made out of nothing, by the way. It was just a long ball forward, and he somehow flicked it on, did a little touch around the defender, and then smashed it over the bar with his left foot. He was so isolated. At times he did some decent stuff, decent runs, crossed it into nobody because he was playing striker. By the way, he's not a striker, he's a winger. So if you look at our team tonight, we've got a midfielder playing at centre-back, a left-back playing at centre-back. We've got wing-backs, one of which hasn't played football, basically, in 3 years. We've got Nyoni's too far forward, Morrison, who's never played, Chiesa, a striker, Chiesa at striker, who's a winger, and then Rio, who's just turned 5 years old. So I'll say it again, he threw the game. The worst part about this with Chiesa is he'll be rewarded, you can bet your life on it, on Saturday with a nice start on the bench, where he'll remain until at least 70 minutes, probably when we desperately need a goal. So yeah, not really acceptable from Slot. Chiesa did alright, did the best he could, but not good enough. He missed a key chance, so for me, 5. Alright, then we go to Rio. So Rio is 17 years old, like I said, and tonight he was our only hope of ever scoring a goal outside of Chiesa doing something magic on his own. The tactic was, give Rio the ball and see what he does. No one got near him at any point to help him. Nobody, offered anything else in the way of creativity. He was the only player who looked like they could create anything at all, and he's 17 years old, and it's too much for him to ask for him to do. He hit one shot in the first half that nearly went in from about 30 yards out. That was our best effort. He made a good run in the second half where he got fouled about 14 times. And that was it. He was pretty quiet second half. First half, he got on the ball quite a lot. He tried to run out his man. He uses the ball well. Sometimes I think he takes a little bit too long to decide what he's going to do. He likes to square up his man for a little bit too long. I'd like to see him maybe just be a bit more instant in his decision making, but that comes with age and with experience. I thought he was one of our better players. Admittedly not hard, but yeah, I'll give him a 5 tonight. And we'll go to Nallo. This guy. This guy. Wow. I think he's made 3 appearances now for Liverpool, Nallo. He's been sent off in 2 of them. They've all been sub appearances, I'm pretty sure. So he must have the best red card to minute ratio of Liverpool players ever in the history of Liverpool Football Club, ever. He must have the most red cards per game of any Liverpool player ever to play. It's unbelievable how bad this fella is. Now, I don't want to dog on him too much because he's a kid and he has no business playing for Liverpool. None at all. No business. Honestly, it's like I'm being pranked. It's like I'm being pranked. It's like he's won a competition to play. It's like at any moment now, someone's going to reveal that they've snuck an imposter on. Am I in a Mr. Beast video? Is Mr. Beast going to make a video saying that he's fucking paid a paid actor £1 million or whatever to go and pretend that they're a Liverpool player and it's worked? Because this is what this fella is. He has no business playing for Liverpool. He can't run. He literally can't run. I'm being serious. He can't pass. He gives the ball away horrendously. Then they play it in behind him. He can't run and he just fouls him for a red card. He's fucking shit. He's rubbish. He should never be playing. Ever. For Liverpool. Ever. In a million years. It's like he's opened his cereal box and he's found the equivalent of a golden ticket to come and have a game at Liverpool. But do you know what the craziest part about it all is? We bring him on with the next fella, Lucky, both centre-backs, at 2-0 down. Let me say that again. At 2-0 down in a cup tie, we decide to bring on 2 centre-backs, one for his debut, who's like probably 18 or something, and the other one for his 3rd game, who in the previous games has wellied someone in the balls and got sent off. Literally volleyed another human being in the ball sack and got sent off. And who can't run. And we brought them on. And do you know what even takes it even further? When he got sent off, the camera cuts to Arne Slot, right? And he goes like this. He looks at our team and he goes like this. 4. To say 4 at the back. Really, Arna? You absolute fucking idiot. Really? 4 at the back now? So it took... Why were you still playing 5 at the back? We're 2-0 down, 70 minutes in. Why are we still playing 5 at the back? It's a joke. The joke that we were still playing 5 at the back. And now one of our players gets sent off and he's got the nerve to stand there on the touchline telling the players we're now playing 4 at the back. Like this. He's going like this. 4, 4. Really? I wouldn't have figured that one out now that our 5th defender just got sent off. And then he told Kone-Doherty to go and sit down. Why? Honestly, it's unbelievable, and there's nothing you can do except give Nallo a 0. He's the funniest player maybe to ever play for us. I'm not going to lie, when he got sent off, I laughed my head off. It was probably the best part of the game, because you couldn't make it up. He should never play for us ever again. He's no one... How is he playing for us? Seriously, how? Like, what are they doing at the academy to let him play for us? I'm being deadly serious. What is Arne Slot putting in the programme? I'm watching players in training to then pick the team. Why is he lying? There's no fucking way he's playing this fella. He's rubbish. And then we move on to Lucky. I've deleted Nallo's 0. Then we move on to Lucky. Now, the best part about this fella is his name is Wellerty Lucky, which I always hear it as well. Isn't he lucky? And that's what he's probably saying about Nallo. Well, isn't he lucky to be playing for Liverpool? Maybe this guy's just as bad. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Except from I've seen him play for the youth team a few times, and he's meant to be all right. Well, Nallo plays for the youth team, and they probably think he's all right as well. So who am I to judge? The good thing about Lucky is he didn't kick someone in the balls and get sent off, so he's had a better debut than Nallo did. So, I don't even know. 5. Gordon. Now, Gordon came on and actually looked somewhat bright. I mean, let's be honest, it was nothing. He didn't do anything good, really. But he looked brighter than Morrison. The problem with Gordon is he's 21 years old. You know, he got sent back by Norwich last year because he couldn't play. Because he was injured. He's never going to make it at Liverpool. Let's face facts. I'd love to be proven wrong, but he isn't. So it's a joke that we're even playing these fellas. Yeah. I don't know. 6. I've just realised now that I've still got Gomez here written at the bottom. That's my mistake. Let's take him off. Because he's crap. We could have had 2 Gomez's again. And he wouldn't have played. We wouldn't have been better. We could have took Gomez off and brought him back on. We'd have still been rubbish. You've probably been looking at that the whole video. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you just noticed like me. But there we go. We can't all be perfect. And Kone-Doherty comes on. And did he touch the ball? I don't think so. So let's just give him a 6. Slot told him to go sit down. Why? I don't know. Slot didn't want to win tonight, guys. The fans should be refunded the tickets tonight. 100% they should be. Every single fan who went to that game should be refunded. Any of you who watch this video, you're an absolute real one. Because that was a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. So any of you put any time into that game, I really, really appreciate it. Because that was unacceptable. Completely. We didn't even try to win. I knew we were going to lose. I watched anyway. Why should I bother? Why should we all bother, guys? That's how you should feel right now. We're being conned. This is the worst run of form Liverpool have ever been on that I can remember. Unless I'm wrong, the worst run of form. Serious questions have to be asked. We just got popped off the park 3-0 by Palace. It was easy for them. Easy peasy. My worst enemy scored twice without even having to lift a glove. They're the match ratings. They're the player ratings, guys. If you did enjoy the video, guys, if you did enjoy the ratings, please do like the video. Comment away. Let me know what you think of the players tonight. Let me know what you think of the manager tonight. Let me know what you think of Liverpool overall. Will we beat Villa? Do we have any chance of getting a result against Villa? I don't think so. Subscribe to the channel as well, guys. If you did watch tonight, then I really, really do appreciate it. Really do. I am defeated. I don't know if you can tell. The energy of this game has sucked it right out of me. I am fully defeated. I feel let down. I feel like the team has embarrassed us. I feel like our manager has let me down and taken the piss out of us, really, tonight, guys. The fact of the matter is, when you're in as bad a form as you are, you don't throw away games. You have to start winning games. You're not in a position where you can throw away games. So to think that he thought it was acceptable tonight to pick that team and throw that game after losing 5 out of our last 6 games, now 6 of our last 7, it's a joke. And he needs to answer questions. I've not looked at his comments yet, but I'm very, very interested to see what he said. Because if he says something tonight, like we didn't win on XG tonight, did we, Yana? And we were at home, so why didn't we win? Well, we didn't win because you sabotaged the team. That's why. And it's not good enough. Thank you guys for watching. Really, really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to 200. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you on Friday for the match preview. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.